welcome back to take 2 of this week's episode of Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast. I'm your
Didn't we do
host,
this last night?
Lars.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Brandon.
And as I said, this is take 2 of this episode because last night when we recorded, it wasn't until we were reviewing the episode that I realized that the system had changed and our vocal audio was not being recorded. So yay me.
Which is why this episode drops a day late, just in time for the next episode of Lower Decks to already be out.
Exactly. In this episode, we are going to talk about Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 4, Room for Growth, and for our exciting second topic, we're going to have Reelin' in the Yars, the best and worst episodes featuring, that's right, Tasha Yar.
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 It works for me.
Hey.
So let's get to episode recap because I got to read my own copy again. Crap. Okay, so after some alien mask fun with the captain, our mask-wearing baddie covering the ship and stuff, and grueling hours by the engineering team cleaning up all that temple crap, Captain Freeman takes Billups, Rutherford, and the rest of the engineering crew to a recreation spa station called Dove to lower their stress levels. It's packed with all the perfect things. Puppies, or an entire room of puppies or kittens if you're a weirdo. Mud baths, and a room with a Klingon joyfully throwing a mechlith for way too long. Of course, the engineers respond first by trying to fix a door that seemed to be just slightly off, designing circuits for the ship in the sand garden, laying their working on something while getting massages, and ultimately, when they get to the mani-pedi, they use cucumbers to hack their stress bands so that they're not yellow, they just are green. Of course, Freeman finds this out, and hers goes from yellow to red, and then finally to black.
I want to ask, when her stress level goes to black, did anybody else besides me think immediately? Oh, actually, no, Patrick, I know you wouldn't because you've never watched the show, you lucky bastard. But I started thinking about Star Trek Discovery and their black alert when they use the magic space mushrooms to instantly travel throughout the galaxy.
Oh, and here I thought it was going to be some race warning. Anyway.
No, that comes later.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. Okay, yeah. So
we'll see that in
Freeman goes to black wristband because she's stressed. They immediately panic, take her for intensive treatment, but nothing works. Not even an entire room full of puppies with some extra bunnies thrown in because they've used all their puppies. But of course, the engineers finally figure out how to relieve their stress by engineering a solution, a box that they throw Freeman in, and 10 seconds later, oh, I feel great. Yay, all my stress is gone. So's ours. Yay. Of course, the director of the spa immediately chucks this thing out the airlock because she doesn't want to be obsolete. Meanwhile, the other story is that after 4 rooms on deck 1 come open for a lottery, and after her overhearing Delta Shift's plans to hack the lottery to get the rooms, Mariner, Boimler, and Tendi set off through the bowels of the ship to hack the terminal first because Delta Shift is evil. Yes. First of all, they encounter Shax and Tana on the holodeck in their favorite form of foreplay, robbing a bank, Bonnie and Clyde style, with the safety protocols disabled. After this holodeck is paused so that they can have some relationship discussion, with a bullet sitting about here on Boimler with the safeties off, they finally find a way. They finally find the access they want, leaving, not finding out how Ta'ana lost her tail because she doesn't have. So they then end up below hydroponics, where Mariner and Boimler start tripping out on nitrous oxide and a lack of oxygen until Tendi drags and whips them to safety, getting Boimler out of his maze and poor Mariner out of her egg.
But it was warm in there.
Warm.
So then they end up in the deflector dish. They go floating around in low to no gravity, having a lot of fun until the dish gets turned on. Boimler, of course, ends up plastered against the thing in a centrifugal nightmare.
This is where Lars gets turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
we know, because for some reason, anime characters turn him on.
Look,
Porn.
okay. Here's the thing, man. Come on. This is like what, twice in 3 episodes where one or more female characters get their kid off, and I'm not. Look, I mean, I get it. It's a cartoon. Okay, I understand, but man, it's like I shouldn't be this aroused by animation.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
it reminds me of when Mortal Kombat 3 first came out. I was at a local pizza place, and these teenagers were playing Mortal Kombat 3, and one of the kids literally said, "Dude, look at that digital cleavage!" Because I think it was like Cortana had the
Oh my goodness.
you could see the cleavage. It was so funny.
Oh,
I
let's
just
be
said
honest.
digital cleavage.
We've been looking at digital cleavage for decades, folks. We know this.
Yeah.
So the arousing scene for Lars, because he's a cartoon perv, I'm just a general perv, is Tendi and Mariner make a tether out of their clothes so they can yank Boimler off the deflector dish's outside spin.
I'm glad you included off the deflector dish. If you'd stopped there before that, yeah. This would have been a whole different show.
Okay. They then end up stuck in a room with a door that only opens once in an hour. In walks Delta Shift, where they get to sit and they kind of bond. They kind of see the common things, and they share stories. Specifically, Ransom, the time he was turned into a caveman, and he made a girlfriend out of churros, known as Churolivia. Of course, the moment the door opens, Delta Shift, being Delta Shift, screws him over, flies through the door, and leaves him. But luckily, Bold Boimler finds a hatch and leads the way, diving down without knowing what's in there. They make it to the panel ahead of Delta Shift, only to find out there's actually, instead of 4 rooms on deck 1, it's 1 room on deck 4. They contemplated this and realized that they're going to break up at some point, and they don't want to rush this by only one of them taking a room. So they give it up because Mariner points out Tendy's going to be a bridge officer, really fast. She's going to get drummed out by, brain blank, by Ransom at some point. And, of course, Bold Boimler is going to end up getting himself killed. Of course, we find out at the end when Rutherford comes back and chews on him for not taking the room and just splitting it 4, because that's exactly what Delta Shift does. They get a 4-person party room on deck 4 instead of being crammed in the bottom and lower decks where everything's overly crowded. Of course, it ends with Ransom getting some more churros to freshen up Churolivia.
That's
Anyway,
right. What was it? 30,
that's pretty much
30,
it.
35 warm churros in an unmarked bag.
Unmarked bag, yeah.
Ew.
Oh God.
I have a question. What do they do when those puppies are no longer puppies?
Maybe they put him back in the replicator and recycle them.
Recycle them.
Make new puppies. Or yogurt.
Hey, look. Here's the thing.
Yum.
They recycle everything in Starfleet. Everything. Do you honestly think that they keep stores of fresh food on the ship? No. Nope. Everything gets resequenced back into protein, and I mean everything.
Including the
secret.
protein.
Yes.
I can't believe it's not Soylent Green. It's made of puppies.
Oh my God.
Of puppies!
Oh jeez. That goes back to our 3x2
Got
days.
it.
Or
Proceed.
I can't believe it's not Soylent Green. That's right. I remember. Or KFB is babies. Oh my God. Never mind. Anyways, so yeah. So let's talk about the our favorite parts of this episode, and let's just say, since we all unanimously agreed last night that there weren't any really bad parts, but just maybe least favorite parts. So let's talk about the favorite parts first. And since I'm already talking, I guess I'll go first.
Is this going to involve Mariner and Tendi?
Oh, that's a topic for another
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
Not a family friendly show.
Oh, it's Treknicity After Dark.
Oh, jeez. Of course, I knew that by letting you come on this show and help me with this, that I was inviting. I was opening Pandora's box, and I'm sure you're like, yeah, you're definitely opening her box.
You asked me to come.
Heyo.
But I was already there. Do. Exactly. Oh, geez. What is the bell?
It's my bell.
Yeah. Are you going to ring my bell? Oh, by the way, I just want to ask you guys, do you remember the 21st night of September?
V for Vendetta?
Oh, my. No. Jeez, man.
That's
Come on.
the 5th of November.
Yeah. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. Anyways, the 21st of September. I think it's an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. You know, do you
Something like
remember the 21st night of September? Oh, God. All right. Anyways, never mind.
Sorry.
Completely off
Yeah,
topic.
please stop.
Off topic.
I'm not old
completely.
enough for that.
Oh, whatever.
Damn kids.
You damn whippersnappers. Anyways,
Get off my lawn.
yeah, that's right. You know what? I know I had a specific example last night, and I've thought more about it. And to be honest, I just gotta say that the whole thing with one thing that just really sticks out to me, other than the fact it was cool that we got to see an Edoan, I guess what the second time in Lower
Yep.
Decks, was the
forgot the first one.
Yeah, the whole thing where the engineers fixed the door, and it reminded me of Galaxy Quest, where Tony Shalhoub's character, Tech Sergeant Chen, after they blow the bad guys out the airlock, the door seals back. He goes, "You did it! He's like, "Yeah, you see that door's sticking a little bit. I'll get one of my guys down with a can of WD-40." And I was like, "Yeah, that's brilliant." You know, of course, the engineers on vacation will be fixing the broken door.
Yeah. I identified with them because, if I were an engineer and I had to go on a vacation, hey, let me bring a few technical manuals. I can sit here and slowly enjoy reading. And if I had a technical manual as a book, I could booksturbate.
Of course you would. You know
Booksturbate.
that term has been with us since 2016. 2016. Or was it 2015? Was it 2015?
Who knows?
Gen Con. The first Gen
I don't
Con we
remember.
went to, we met up with these guys from a group. They had their movie there called Of Dice and Men, and yep, there it is. There's the dog tag from that movie, and that's where the term booksturbate is. That's the first time we heard it.
Yeah, it was a movie based on a play, to be exact. Long story short, you spend some time, you just casually get a glass of wine, some candles, you sit there and just spend some time with the book.
Yeah, that's not creepy
Anyway.
at all. That's not creepy at all. Anyways, we digress because we're trotting
If you want to
over.
be creepy, that's the internet.
Yeah, we're trotting over material that we've talked about before, so we're trying to make it fresh and relevant in our own minds,
So that we don't completely suffer.
So
But
that's my
ultimately,
favorite.
Like
Yeah. What about
Brandon, what was your best?
when they started tripping out from the nitrogen.
all the nitrous oxide?
Yeah, and shit, why can't I remember her name? When she gets in the egg,
Oh,
and she's like,
Mariner.
I want to stay
Mariner.
here, Mariner. I want to. I don't want to hatch.
It's warm in here.
That was a funny scene. I love that.
Yeah,
part.
unlike the last episode,
And then
which was
Tendi
really
apologizes to her for, I'm sorry I hatched you.
it was so warm.
Go
ahead.
I'll say that segment reminded me of the what was it, the episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes and eats the Guatemalan insanity pepper, and he starts tripping balls on it.
Oh yeah, like it's so hot that the ice cream it melts before it even gets near his tongue.
Yeah, that's right.
What were you gonna say, Patrick?
I completely forgot at this point, but that's fine because I don't think there's a lot more we can bring to this
No,
because
agreed.
we're kind of, the downside of doing the show twice is it's kind of reaction and feeding off each other, and we're at that point. So
Plus,
let's
there's
get to
nothing bad about it, really, this episode.
yeah. Unlike the prior week's episode where it was more of a, hey, let's do a Star Trek type episode. This is a more of a, let's do crazy lower decks hijinks episode.
Yeah.
Because it was all hijinks versus last week where we had normal Star Trek stuff happening.
Right.
So let's get to it. Best versus worst.
Oh dear.
Yar.
So we're doing the Yar episodes. So let me just lay out the best and worst real quick. The best is going to be yesterday's Enterprise. Quick synopsis on that. Enterprise C shows up through a rift, dropping the Big D into an alternate timeline where the Federation is losing wars against the Klingons. There's no Worf on the bridge, and Lieutenant Yars still there. They figure out that that had the Enterprise C been destroyed in its time, instead of being flung through the rift, they probably wouldn't have had a war. After learning from Guinan that she died needlessly, Tasha decided to hop back on the Enterprise C, and the D eventually gets its ass kicked by Klingons, and then poof, back to the normal timeline, which ends with Guinan wanting to know, asking Geordi and wanting to know a little bit more about Tasha Yar, who she never met because they hadn't put Guinan on the show yet. There you go. The worst, on the other hand, let's do it again. Here we go. You shall have no treaty, no vaccine, and no Lieutenant Yar. Yeah, it's time for Code of Honor.
Yeah.
Red alert.
Yeah. Yeah. Black alert time. So the Enterprise has to get some vaccine from some black African stereotype planet. Cliche tribal shenanigans ensue, and Tasha gets to fight some other bitch for the enjoyment of the men. Surprisingly, no fried chicken or watermelon was served.
Yeah.
Some quick honorable mentions. Actually, we'll come to the honorable mentions later, but obviously we know which one's the best and which one's the worst episode of Star Trek to ever be filmed, period, exclamation point. Yeah. Do I really have to say it? Or were you guys going to fill in? Obviously, it's yesterday's Enterprise is the best because it gives Tasha her meaningful death, satisfying story arc, and we also get Sela out of it.
Right.
And Code of Honor, racism.
Yeah, we get gnarly looking claw gloves and a jungle gym. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it was like the worst. Like, I mean, seriously. Like, the only thing that was missing was the what was missing from that set was the what is it, the recycled yoga
greens?
the recycled yoga mat ground I guess flooring around for when she falls off the jungle gym. But look, okay, so as we know, anybody who has seen Code of Honor knows that it's just so stereotypically racist that it isn't funny, because I mean the whole story revolves around going to this planet Ligon 2, where they meet up with the leader Lutan and his wife Yarina, and they kind of figure out, they kidnap Yar as a sign of force and strength, and then they, basically Picard has to kind of negotiate his way out of it, and Yar's like, you know what, I will F that bitch in the A. And so that's exactly what happens. But the whole thing is, it's so stereotypically stupid that, as a white person, it makes me cringe, because I'm like, really? You guys did that? Really? You guys let that get away? Really? Next thing you're going to do, you're going to kill Tasha Yar off with a BP accident. Oh, wait.
It's just pure bad writing. She had a comm badge on. They could have beamed her out the second after she was taken.
Yep.
Of course they couldn't, because of Star Trek. The comm badges never work, and you can never just beam somebody out, because otherwise the plot can't happen.
Well,
on the other hand,
the plot can't happen. Yeah, exactly.
On the other hand, the story itself might have worked if they hadn't dressed it in, hey, Black Africa, that will be our planet. Tribal Black Africa.
They even call
the planet. Cast that.
They call the planet Ligon too. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Like, holy shit, guys. What were you thinking?
From what I understand, pretty much everybody that gets asked about that episode shits on it because it's shit.
Yeah.
And Gene Roddenberry even had the director fired for that one because,
Like, and this is,
I don't even know.
This is Gene Roddenberry we're talking about, Captain Misogyny.
Yeah. They didn't even, and they still put that episode out.
All right.
You still there?
And I think we've lost Patrick. Although
I like how he's frozen.
I know. I was like, he's an absolute derp face. This is great, man. Holy shit, this is gonna be cool.
He hated the episode so much he just
he just
froze him out.
He noped himself out of the episode. Oh my goodness, the dude is let me see if he let me check to see if the poor guy is still online.
We need to get a screenshot of this. Take
Yeah.
a quick screenshot with your computer.
Damn it! Oh, we lost him.
Oh shit!
Damn it!
Gone.
No, he's back, but I gotta.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. I gotta switch things around.
Oh my god, you froze with the best nope face, for a full the entire
gotta
time
love
you were
it.
gone.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah, derp face. Yeah, I heard you. I was able to hear you making fun of my derp face.
Hang on a
It's derp
second.
face. It is what it is.
I gotta put Patrick back where he belongs. Make sure everybody looks good.
You
All
didn't,
right,
you
there we
didn't
go.
pause us, so can I still talk while we're?
You can still
while you're-
talk. I got everything.
Okay.
I got everything back to where it needs to be. We just made a couple of jokes at your expense.
Of course, I derped out. So yeah. Okay. I have no idea where we were. So if you guys can,
You
pick
said
up
the director got
fired for it,
and
he's stuck
writer,
again.
The writer who wrote the episode, she never wrote another Star Trek episode
shit.
after TNG episode actually after that.
Yeah. So.
But she did write a very similar episode for Stargate SG-1.
That's
Yeah.
right. It
A
was
character
the
who gets kidnapped by an Asian culture, and she has to fight her way out. It's like,
At least there was another black culture.
yeah. Well, instead of African, she used Asian, so I
Yeah.
don't think it was much better.
Yeah.
So I think we can all universally agree. Code of Honor, worst Star Trek episode ever.
Of all of them, I do have to get there do have to be a few. There are some honorable mentions that I have to drop in here. Obviously, the Naked Now gets a mention because
Tasha, Data is fully
Tasha
functional.
helps us discuss. Yeah,
But we get that line. It's like the best line ever.
go ahead.
Of course,
It's fully functional
programmed in multiple techniques.
in multiple techniques.
And they brought it back. The best movie, First Contact. Remember that. Okay, of course we have to mention Skin of Evil, where for some reason,
So
oil slick.
Yeah, where she gets killed by an oil slick. I mean, is that like sort of thinly veiled reference to her being killed by climate change? I mean, or like it would have been. I think it would have been like almost ominous if they had her killed by an oil slick in the Gulf of Mexico.
Maybe they'll take the bad guy from Fern Gully and CGI him in place of Armis.
Jeez.
That'd be insane. Of course, let's see here. What else was there on that? There's also the time where she and Geordi do the whole drugs are bad MK scene with poor Wesley, who has to sit there and, gee, why would anybody do drugs? Drugs are bad, MK.
Just because it makes you feel good? I don't know.
Unlike the rape gangs, which literally that was half of Tasha's story was, oh, my planet has rape gangs on it.
Oh, you mean the rape gangs of Turkana 4?
Yeah, there were rape gangs on Turkana 4.
No
and
way.
I had to dodge rape gangs all the time on Turkana 4 where there are rape gangs.
Well,
What did they have on her planet?
Literally, that half her dialogue was her bringing up dodging rape gangs
I wanted to know
on Turkana 4.
I want to know what they
Because rape
did on
gangs.
Turkana 4 when they weren't running from the rape gangs. Were they joining the rape gangs?
Yeah, what was it?
Apparently your sister probably did, but
Yeah.
geesh.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was classics. The fact is, this was classic season 1, misogyny. Let's identify a woman by sex in some way, shape, or form. Which, thankfully, as the writers got younger and newer
more
and
progressive.
gayer, yeah, we got better plots. We got women doing things other than being sex objects. We got Troy finally getting a real uniform. Literally the only thing that Captain Jellicoe ever got right was telling her to put on a regular uniform. Yes.
Yes, because she was a bridge officer. She was a ranked bridge officer by that point.
Of course, then again, there was the sexy ghost candle that did.
Oh yeah, the goop candle. The Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle.
Gross.
I just don't get it, man. I mean, like, why would anybody think that would be enticing? Mind you, there are people who buy who will go in Japan who will buy used women's used underwear from vending machines. So
yeah, people will buy anything.
Yeah.
But think about this: if we hadn't had yesterday's Enterprise did some great things. It did bring Denise Crosby back into the franchise after she left in season 1, which was because of the shitty writing. I mean, she literally saw no point in staying and continuing with a character that was going to be saddled with bad writing and rape gangs every other episode on Tucana 4, where there are rape gangs. And this is not to make light of this, but the fact that they literally defined the character by this constantly, always rape gangs constantly. Hey, I made my camera shake a few times. Yeah, it got tiring.
What did they have on Dracana 4?
Rape gangs. That sounded creepy.
That sounds like, I mean,
that sounds like I was from Turkana 4.
This sounds like an Oliver Stone movie, The Rape Gangs of Turkana 4.
I'd watch it.
Can we start Gamatoing it and started calling it Cortana 4 or something like that, or
whatever. Anyways,
Cortana
okay.
4.
So let's go on and talk about the best Tasha Yar episode, which is also arguably the best episode of TNG, which is yesterday's Enterprise. And the reason why I say it's one of the best, it's one of the best episodes of TNG because one, it gave Tasha Yar a graceful out. It allowed her to gain some dignity because her death was stupid, and I know they killed her off because they were pissed off when she decided to leave.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So had nothing to do with it's best for the character. No, you're pissed off because she's leaving, whatever,
And shock value.
Yeah,
it did have some shock value. You didn't expect a main cast member to be off in the season 1. It's not The Walking Dead. Hey, I'm a main character.
Not anymore. You're not.
5 seconds.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, don't get me started.
Game of Thrones too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we're following this guy. He's dead.
TNG did it first.
Yeah. Star Trek did it first. Next thing you know,
that's only because The Simpsons didn't exist yet. Or
did
it? Yeah.
I think it was the same year. I think TNG came out the same year that The Simpsons came out.
87 or 88. Yeah.
Just be glad TNG didn't hang around that long. Oh, wait a minute. We've got Picard.
Yeah. And season 3 is going to be the TNG reunion season. Although apparently
they're still going to outlive them.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is I saw a clickbait thing on Facebook this evening, and it was talking about this divisive character is going to end up as an uber villain in Star Trek, and they were implying that there was going to be a divisive character was going to end up as a uber villain in the next season of Picard.
Oh.
But it's not. It's not. It was clickbait. They were actually talking about the fact that Will Wheaton appears as Mirror Wesley in the Star Trek Online Ascension expansion.
Yeah. Where he's more of a dick than the actual evil Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Well, the evil Will Wheaton was just fun to watch. Yep. Especially because he was tormenting Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Anyways, like I said, the character got a graceful out. It left the door open for her to come back later on if she wanted, and they did with the character of Sela. And Yeah, I mean, like it was a good like what if situation where we got to see a flip side of the coin. We got to see what it was like if the Federation had been at war for 20 years, and and they're getting their asses handed to them, which is kind of weird. Like seriously, like like a couple of birds of prey, um, whooped on a Galaxy class. What the hell
Not
is
just
it?
any Galaxy class, the D.
Yeah,
The D.
the big D.
The D.
They
Yeah,
didn't give him the D.
It's always the D.
and of course, they still couldn't kick their ass even when they had Shooter McGavin on board. So
Yeah. On a side note, he and Tasha Yar show up in Star Trek Online. They show up at least twice. There's an adventure that's set between the time they go back through the portal and the time they get destroyed, where they get stuck with Thullians, and you get to help steal the Enterprise C to send them to their death. And then you find a planet. You and Sela go to a planet where you find out that Castillo died and Tasha Yar was there, and you find her grave. Yay. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
wasn't Turkana 4, was it?
No, there were time bubbles, not rape gangs.
Oh yeah, rape gangs. What were they on? Oh, that's around Turkana 4. The rape gangs of Turkana 4.
Rape gangs of Takana 4, yeah.
They could have been
Or Cortana 4.
They could have been rape time bubbles.
No, I played through it, just regular time bubbles.
Yeah, he's not happy. So, sex bubbles, sex bubbles. Anyways, so
Ooh, sex bubbles.
Bubbles.
Final thoughts on good or bad of yesterday's Enterprise.
It's a glorious episode. It's one of the better episodes of season 3 for certain. Of course, it gets topped, because the final episode's Best of Both the Worlds Part 1.
Yep, where we get to see the Borg be their most badassery. They're even more badassery in that one than they were in First Contact.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know. The Borg Queen was really awesome.
She was. What about you, Brandon? Any final thoughts on it?
No. I mean, the only thing I liked about Code Honor, which I said before, was the Data and Geordi. You see the beginning of their friendship. That's the only good thing about the entire episode of Code of Honor.
And then we cut back to the racism.
Yeah.
But so the last thought, and this is the most important thing, the best thing that ever happened, because Denise Crosby left, it opened the door for one character. Worf.
Wesley
And let's
Crusher.
be honest.
Oh, Worf. Yeah, Worf.
No, just Worf. That's all there is to it. Need we say more?
Yes.
No.
More. Anyways, that is all the time we have for this episode of Treknicity. Thank you guys who watch our show and do show us some love and some support.
Should we have to do it twice?
Exactly, because I am a tool of the highest caliber, or lowest caliber if you like.
So we need twice the support.
Exactly. So, if you like following us,
Too low.
just check out us on Instagram at Treknicity, on Facebook the Red Shirt Geeks, YouTube Red Shirt Geeks, Twitch Red Shirt Geeks. You can go to redshirtgeeks.tv, which will take you to the YouTube page with all of our geeky goodness. And also be sure to check us out on anchor.fm/Treknicity and give us some viewership and listenership so that we can get us up there and start doing some other cool stuff. It'll let you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that good stuff. That being said, this has been Treknicity. I'm Lars.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Brandon Dracona 4. Layla.
Our member of the Rape Kings, Turkana 4. As always, remember to rock out with your Spock out. We'll see you next time, folks.